So we're with Kentucky for Kentucky. I'm Whit Hiler, that's Griffin VanMeter. The mission of Kentucky for Kentucky is to engage the world by promoting Kentucky people, places, and products, and to kick ass for the Commonwealth. We do that through products that we sell, we do it through projects, we do it through social media, and we do it through stories.
So this all started with a joke, and Whit and I were hanging out at his house, and we said, you know, what if we did something radical for Kentucky? What if we could figure out a way to make Kentucky kick ass and let the world know about that? Yeah. What's the biggest platform in the world? And we started thinking, well, a Super Bowl commercial. We're like, that's cool. Let's create a Kentucky Super Bowl commercial. And it's like, well, how do you do that? Let's crowdfund the
$3.5 million and make a Super Bowl commercial for Kentucky.
So that's where it started. We said,
and that was the big joke.
So we said, let's do this. So we went out and started it, and when it got picked up by Mashable, you know, we had raised about $1,100 out of the $3 million.
And we came pretty close in the end. Our goal was to raise $3.5 million, create this epic Super Bowl commercial for Kentucky, and in the end, we raised $100,000.
Right.
So we were close.
Yeah,
no cigar.
And most of it was my money.
I think 40,000 of it was Griff's money.
You know, you gotta feed the kitty a little bit to get it going. But what ended up happening, we also started this Facebook page, and as we were going, people started to supply us with all these really amazing Kentucky facts that took our Kentucky kicks ass knowledge up to the next step. So we're actually going to share some of these facts with you.
A couple of fun facts. So we started learning all these great things. Like in Kentucky, there are more barrels of bourbon than there are people. I mean, that's amazing and awesome. And we've been riding that quote for a long time. We love it.
So if anybody's out there drunk on bourbon, that's cool, because that's your kind of Kentucky God-given right.
Yeah, who wouldn't want to come to Kentucky knowing that? Okay. Pornhub did a survey of its users, and state by state, and in Kentucky, they found out that we love hentai porn, which is Japanese anime. Who in here, let's get a raise of hands, who loves Japanese anime?
Hentai.
They're hentai, nice. Yeah. So that's awesome, another awesome Kentucky fun fact right there.
Any of you bro or broettes out there with beards? Anybody got beards out there like mine? Well, this next fact, I want you guys to be careful because in Kentucky, sometimes we make people eat their own beards. I'm sorry that happened to you, brother.
Poor guy.
Yeah. He got in a fight over, I think the story was he got in a fight, he had some buddies that were Tea Party guys, and he didn't want to join up, so they shaved his beard off and made him eat it.
Never forget.
So this is interesting for you guys. Louisville is where young people go to retire. You know, like, I guess you guys have all retired since you're here and you're young, living your golden years. That's awesome.
Best city at luring and retaining educated young people. That's you. That's awesome. That kicks ass.
It might have something to do with the bourbon.
The bourbon and resurfaced. Southern Living had an article, 7 Wonders of the South, and Kentucky owned 3 of those 7 wonders. There was Mammoth Cave, the Red River Gorge, and Cumberland Falls also has the Moonbow. That kicks ass.
And probably soon number 4 with Colonel Will Russell's Funtown Mountain.
Yeah,
that will be the.
We got Funtown Mountain coming up.
So which opens up, I think, next week. Let's all go down there together. So for our next project, we started thinking we had kind of built up this fan base, this collaborative fan base where people were supplying us with this knowledge. And we were having a lot of fun learning about Kentucky, exploring Kentucky. And we said, well, we have this platform. What can we really do with this? You know, what should we do? And we started to think, well, one thing that could help Kentucky out is if we started to get more people here. and if we also started to take a lot more pride in our state. And we said, we're marketing guys, we're branding guys, and we said, well, let's start to really rebrand Kentucky.
Yeah, let's look at how Kentucky's marketing itself.
And so this was how they were currently marketing themselves. And you guys, this is Governor Ernie Fletcher.
Big Ern.
Big Ern. His tenure kind of ended in scandal. Way to go, Big Ern, hiring all of his people.
I think Kentucky is like, it's one of the most politically corrupt states in America too, which is awesome. Big Ern.
Good for us, because we don't mind bribing people. So we had this thought that Big Ern was sitting there in the marketing meeting. He's like, no, let me show you. Let me show you how this works. We got horses, we got bourbon. We got bourbon, we got horses. We got horses, bourbon, and horses. Unbridled spirit. There it is, boys. Let's go. So anyway, we figured out that Big Ern and his crew, they spend about $600,000 of your money developing this Unbridled Spirit brand. And not only did that cost that much, they actually spend about $2 million implementing it every year, trying to get people all around the world to recognize that Kentucky has Unbridled Spirit.
Unbridled Spirit.
And so we decided
take it upon ourselves to rebrand Kentucky.
And Unbridled Spirit sucks, and nobody actually says, man, those guys have a lot of unbridled spirit.
Yeah.
What's that even mean? So we decided we'd crowdsource kind of a logo, and so we went out all over
the great Commonwealth of Kentucky and asked Kentuckians what they thought about Kentucky. Describe Kentucky to us in a couple words. And the response we got back was Kentucky kicks ass. And so we said, hell yeah, let's rebrand Kentucky without Kentucky's permission. Unbridled Spirit is out and Kentucky kicks ass is in.
Right.
And so that we made a YouTube video.
Right. And is this the case study?
This is the case study.
So a lot of times people ask, well, how'd it go? So we'll just play you a quick case study of how it all went down.
Recently, 3 proud Kentuckians took it upon themselves to rebrand the great Commonwealth of Kentucky. A pretty big task considering these boys had zero money and no one asked them to do it. First, the boys went all over the state and asked the people what they thought about the bluegrass.
Kentucky kicks ass.
Kentucky kicks ass.
Kentucky kicks butt. Down there in Kentucky, Turtle Man kicks butt.
Second, they made a logo, a YouTube video, and a few kick-ass ads. Third, they put it on the interweb. And just like that, Kentucky had been rebranded. Kentuckians loved it. The press didn't know what to believe. Then the USA Today and the state outed them boys for not having any authority. Kentuckians were furious with the state's response. They came out to defend the boys and the new slogan. Local media came to their defense. National media came to their defense. Daniel Boone grabbed his musket and came to their defense. All of a sudden, the state had a little bourbon revolution on their hands. Realizing the groundswell, the state called the boys in for a sit-down. The Tourism, Arts, and Heritage Chief Mama congratulated them for creating Kentucky's most successful branding campaign ever. They wanted Kentucky kicks ass, but they needed to check with their constituency first. NPR got wind of the kick-ass taking place in Kentucky. They interviewed the boys and ran a national piece on all things considered. Sure enough, they got the blessing from Kentucky's big man. Meanwhile, the press kept rolling in and people kept on signing up for the Kentucky kicks ass message. It's funny what can be accomplished with a good idea, a YouTube video, good design, social media, and a few proud Kentuckians. The boys are still fighting the fight, working hard to make sure the entire world knows that Kentucky sure does kick a lot of ass.
Kentucky kicks ass.
So that was Conan O'Brien at the end, validating how much we kick ass.
So that's our Kentucky Kicks Ass campaign. And how does that tie into our theme today at Creative Mornings of Revolution? We thought that it would be fun to teach you guys how to bootleg a brand and cause a little mini revolution yourself. So we've got in 15 steps, all right? So get out your pens and papers and take some notes. We teach you how to bootleg a brand here.
So the first step is always to have a good cause. You have to have a reason. You have to have a reason for the revolution. For us, it was easy. We live in Kentucky. We love in Kentucky. We love Kentucky. We do love in Kentucky. Yes.
We make the sweet Kentucky love.
That's right.
To Kentucky.
You know, and this is a place we're proud of, and we want other people to be proud of, and we want to live here the rest of our lives and raise our family here.
And we're not alone. I mean, you guys want it too. That's the cause. That's what set this in motion.
Right, and actually, thank you guys for being here. We didn't even do that, so thank you guys for being here, and also thanks to Ben and the Access Ventures team for having us. That's really means a lot to us.
And step 2, just do it. We would never want to bootleg Nike's brand because they've got the best slogan out there. Just do it. You know, our best ideas have come from jokes. The idea to crowdfund a Super Bowl commercial was a joke that started in my living room, and we laughed our asses off. The idea to rebrand Kentucky without Kentucky's permission started as a joke. We mentioned it, we laughed our asses off. And, you know, we've had other jokes. Let's make some fried chicken candles. Let's make some gold-plated Kentucky Fried Chicken bone necklaces. Those were all jokes. We laughed our asses off. But we didn't stop with the laughs. We did it. We were like, let's do this shit. Let's make it. And that's what it's all about, is just getting out there and doing it. It's kind of the hard part, but once you start doing it, you know, some things are successes, some are failures, but you're never going to know unless you get out there and start doing it. So that's the big step. Just do it.
So just do it. And the first thing to just doing it is stick it to the man.
Hell yeah.
So we all hate the man. The man's out to get us. So you got to become the man, you know.
You can't start a revolution without sticking it to the man.
Yeah, and then you become the man. So yeah, go stick it to the man.
Skip the clever slogans. Unbridled Spirit is a very clever slogan. I mean, I get it. You know, it's bourbon and horses, but
You're just running around free in the pasture, drunk.
Have you ever heard somebody say, "I love Kentucky's Unbridled Spirit"? Hell no. Have you ever heard somebody say Kentucky kicks ass? Hell yes, you have. We say it all the time. So skip the clever slogans.
So this one has been a good one for us. You know, don't be afraid to use fun words or simple words. Like that's the thing I think that makes Kentucky Kicks Ass so successful, is that it's very simple. You know, like I said, it's very dazed and confused, and Watterson might say it. So it's okay to use cuss words.
Yeah, I think it helps our slogan.
And ass actually isn't even a cuss word. We got that validated in an article in the BBC. It's, you know, it's popular nomenclature. It just means to be awesome, you know. So we always like this, you know, because a lot of people are like, this one says, like your product.
Tweet.
Yeah, like
came at us.
Like your products, but hate that you decided to use a curse word to describe the state. So we had a lot of that, you know, like, oh my God, that's crazy. They're saying ass.
Yeah, but you know what? This guy's tweeting at us about our slogan. You know, he's not tweeting at Kentucky Tourism about their slogan because he doesn't care about their slogan. He doesn't care about Kentucky Tourism. He cares about us. So good or bad, you know, it gets people talking.
And he cares about Kentucky, obviously, so that's a big part of it too.
So step 6, don't worry about making everybody happy. And that's always kind of been our motto. We like the tension. We kind of play on a 70-30 rule. Let's try and make 70% of the people happy. And the other 30%, you know, let's piss them off and get them talking about us using cuss words and making horse humping socks and rebranding the state, you know. But it's getting people talking. You got to have that tension. So don't worry about making everybody happy.
And then this is a big important step, you know, good design. You know, if you think about it, design's everywhere, and things are either designed well or they're designed poorly. And I think when you have a message or a cause that you're trying to work on, good design can actually help carry that a far way. So, I mean, there's a cast of 150 designers right here. So if you're working on something, team up with somebody and make it look really good.
Yeah, it's a great way to change perceptions, an easy way. Good design. It's better than bad design.
Right. Unbridled spirit, bad design.
So step 8, use influencers. When we first launched our Kentucky Kicks Ass video, we had like 20 or 30 influential Kentuckians in that video saying Kentucky kicks ass. You know, describe 2 words to us that describe Kentucky. Kentucky kicks ass. And so we have all these people in this video saying Kentucky kicks ass. It's one thing if we go out there and make a video and we say, hey, Kentucky kicks ass, we've changed the slogan. It's another thing if we get 20 influential Kentuckians saying it. So influencers go a long way in making your cause go a long way. And that's J-Law.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. There's not many people who can say their stuff has been on J-Law's breast. But we can say that. There you go,
the Kentucky Kicks Ass logo, J-Law.
This is always, you know, social media. Our whole thing is built on the success and the currency and the opportunity of social media. The fact that we did all this without any money. We paid the designer, we paid Cricket Press about $500 to help us create that logo. And then besides that, it was all free. All this earned media was free just using social media. So I think what we're trying to say here is that individuals can make huge impact, and you don't have to be part of this big organization, but you can use these tools, all these great technological tools and design tools to publish your content.
Yeah, social media is, I mean, you guys know, it's an incredible tool. None of this would have been possible, you know, 10, 15, probably 8 years ago. You know, with social media, a couple, you know, goofs like us can go out there and rebrand a state or attempt to rebrand a state or attempt to crowdfund a Super Bowl commercial. It's a powerful tool, and definitely if you want to cause a revolution or do some shit like this, you got to use social media. Be misleading. That was the beauty of our Kentucky Kicks Ass campaign. Is when we launched the YouTube video, we told people that we had been tasked to rebrand the great Commonwealth of Kentucky. We also said that in our press release that we sent out. We just never said who we had been tasked by. And
we had been tasked by ourselves
yeah.
and you to make this change.
Yeah, so it's, and nobody knew, you know, what was going on, if this was a real rebranding or if it was a fake one, who are these guys? So being misleading really helped our cause.
And then, especially with what happened, so Whit sent these press releases out to all the major media outlets, and the USA Today picked it up, and a very talented reporter there is very excited about the story. They're like, this is a lot of fun. She contacts Whit, and then she starts to dig into like, okay, well, who did task you? And then as soon as he says, well, nobody tasked us, we just did it, she got really mad. And she was like, she used some really choice words. She said, you little MFer. I've been working on this all morning, and you're just, you're lying to people. It's unethical, which we didn't really think it was.
We've since become good friends with her.
Right, that's right. So anyway, so she ended up writing this story, and we mentioned that in the case study, where she basically outed us for being misleading, and then got this man, Pat Stipes, who's a really nice guy who works for the tourism department. And it was around Christmas time, and it was he was like the only guy that she could get a hold of. And he made this quote where he said, well, we don't sanction it, and these guys actually don't have any constituency, which is actually true. We don't have a constituency. We do have an audience. But that came out, and then that's when everybody got really, really mad at the state. And so
yeah,
it started.
The state said, you can't have Kentucky Kicks Ass, and everybody said, we want Kentucky Kicks Ass. So it really worked in our favor.
So all this audience, all these people just started to bombard the state, and then all the media started to jump on saying, well, you know, you're suppressing creatives. They're doing this because they love their state. You know, give them a chance. And so, and that's what really, really, really blew it all up. And so, you know, and then so when the state shut it down, then that's what we did. That's how we celebrated the bad news, or tried to shut it down. We sent out another press release, and especially the state sent us a cease and desist, and then we filed back open records request to them, which completely shut the marketing machine down, and it was a bureaucratic code red on their part. And it was just a frenzy, and you could see these emails that were going back and forth because they didn't know they're like, I don't know what this is, I don't know what this is, help, stop talking to the press, stop. So, you know, it's good to celebrate the bad news.
And, you know, from the beginning of that campaign, we were hoping for two outcomes. You know, the first outcome would be that the state was like, I love you, boys. You've done the Commonwealth good. We're going to, you know, unbridled spirits out. Kentucky kicks ass is our new slogan. So that was the, you know, option one.
And here's a big briefcase full of money because you guys are so smart and talented. Go on.
And then the second outcome that we were hoping for, if that didn't happen, was the state would issue a statement saying, these guys, we have nothing to do with these guys. They're rogue marketers. They're on their own. And the second scenario happened, and it just happened to be in the form of a USA Today article. So it was like double awesome for our campaign. We were like, hell yeah. The state came out and said we had nothing to do with it, and it's in the USA Today article for everybody to read. So yeah, that's celebrate the bad news.
Right, and then this is kind of what I was just talking about. Step 12 is you have to really use the media to create the hype, and you need that press release and that earned media to get people excited, because there's validation, obviously, within these big media outlets, and that was kind of the interesting thing. Like we said, when we went in to meet with the state, they said you guys have created more earned media in the last 2 weeks than we have in the last 30 years, with huge ad budgets, and us with nothing.
Yeah, all of this media just fuels our campaign. I mean, it goes back to if we tell you something, that's one thing you probably don't care, but if NPR tells you something or BuzzFeed tells you something, you're going to care. So we really use the media to drive and fuel this whole Kentucky Kicks Ass campaign.
So this is what we ended up, as this was building, we ended up having these very awesome, wonderful people that really, really latched on to this, and were like, dude, I love this. This has changed my life. This has changed the way I feel about Kentucky. We kept on hearing all these great stories about people moving to Kentucky because of this, deciding to go to the University of Kentucky because they saw our video. And it just started to build. And then that's also kind of how some of the products started, is we're like, well, people were like, hey man, can you put that on a shirt, or I'd like to put it on the back of my semi truck. And it was really interesting. We had, you know, this whole range of demographic, old, young, we had rednecks, we had hipsters, press, we had big corporations and politicians that were into it. So we had all these populations that were down with what we were doing. But we also had these guys that were really, really serious about Kentucky Kicks Ass. And somebody said, hey man, I want to get a Kentucky Kicks Ass tattoo. And we're like, yeah, you do. So
hell yeah, you do.
We're like, well, we wonder who else wants a Kentucky Kicks Ass tattoo. So we said, hey, we'll pay for Kentucky Kicks Ass tattoos.
We're buying.
We're buying. And so we basically had all these people, and this is still true. If you guys want a Kentucky Kicks Ass tattoo, we'll buy it. The bigger, the better for us. So this is a little video about people getting Kentucky Kicks Ass tattoos. That's crazy.
I think in the end it was like 30 tattoos we paid for, and some were like big ass tattoos.
Right. So yeah, and it's the ultimate kind of like brand flattery or buy-in when you will, commemorate
Yeah,
that.
tattoo a logo on your body. That means you
Pretty
love
permanent.
that brand.
Pretty permanent.
So step 14, be funny and have fun. We think we're funny. We definitely like to have fun. I think that, a lot of brands and corporations are pretty serious. And, I don't know. I think there's a lot of room for humor out there. And I think humor goes a long ways with you guys and us and consumers. So I think just being funny and having fun has helped this campaign a lot.
Yeah, I mean, think of it. I think being funny makes people happy.
Yeah, what's funnier than a couple horses having sex with a horse humping socks over their privates? I think that's pretty funny.
So yeah, that's been a big one, and yeah, reflects in a lot of our products, and it's how I think it's how you get a message to be kind of sticky is using humor, and I think that's some of it because people really want to be entertained. It's hard out there, and if you look at the news is tough to digest. So people need to be entertained and need to have something to brighten their day.
Life's too short not to have fun.
And then, so this is the last step and the most important step, I think, to any part of any revolution is that you have to be disruptive. So we specifically wanted to disrupt Kentucky.
And tourism.
Yeah, tourism, disrupt, economic development and how it's done. But this is what we kind of stuck by, and it's only by being disruptive and going against kind of the grain and breaking stuff apart that new stuff will rise through. And we think about, I mean, you guys all know these disruptive, every new emerging industry is disruptive. Every technological industry is disruptive and has replaced something.
Yeah, I mean, and look at the success of like an Uber disrupting the transportation industry or Airbnb disrupting the, hotel industry. There's a lot of opportunities out there to do similar things in a disruptive manner.
And we found out, and our main disruption with like Kentucky tourism and our marketing messages, what we figured out is that Kentucky tourism in most states for this part are marketing to people that aren't from here. So they're marketing for the pass-through economy, the people who come stay at the gorgeous land between the lakes for 3 days on your way to Florida. But they weren't, and what they were missing were the 4 million people that could be their brand ambassadors, which are us. So that's what we decided to do. We would market to Kentuckians and make Kentuckians the big word of mouth ambassadors. So when you have people that visit, or that you would even be the concierge and the sign dancer that says, hey, come on down, come to Kentucky because it kicks ass, and I'm going to show you why it kicks ass. So that's where, that's what we learned.
Yeah, it goes back, if Kentucky tells you that it's cool, you're probably not going to believe Kentucky that it's cool. But if all of Kentucky's people are telling everybody that Kentucky's cool, then people are going to listen and want to come visit.
So yeah, that's we did it. Now you can start any revolution that you want to. We're glad to help you.
You've got the tools.
Yeah, we'll supply all the cuss words and stickers that you'll need.